Hello students, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is Lifestyle of Animals. The topics which we are going to study in this video are: what is habitat, terrestrial animals and their different habitats like forest, desert, mountain regions and polar regions. We'll also cover the topic marine water and fresh water. We'll also discuss about the different types of body coverings in animals like scales, shell, feathers and fur. So let's start the video. This is the picture of different types of habitat present on this earth, which includes mountains, grasslands, polar regions, wetlands, urban areas, desert, rainforest and marine water. Let's discuss them separately. Habitat. The natural living place of an animal is called its habitat. The habitat provides with food, water, shelter and the appropriate environment to the animal. It is the place where an animal gives birth to its young ones and bring them up safely. You can see in the slide that there are different types of habitat where different categories of animals survive, which provides them food, water, shelter and the appropriate environment. Now, terrestrial animals' habitats are of four categories: forest, desert, mountain regions and polar regions. We will be discussing each one of them separately while discussing that what type of animals live there and what are their special features to survive in that particular environment. Forest, the wooded area. It consists of trees and other plants in large and densely wooded area. We all know, you can see in the background, that forests consist of very huge trees and other plants which has lots of food for the different categories of animals. Almost 80% of animals live in the forest. Some animals like monkeys, squirrels live on trees, while the others like rabbits and mouse make underground burrows in the forest floor. Birds live in nests which are located on the ground or in the bushes or the trees. So basically forest is the home for 80% of the animals. Let's move to the next habitat. Desert, the arid land. The sandy and the large areas which do not have sufficient water sources or green vegetation is called desert. That is the place where the water is not sufficient and there is no vegetation. These places are called as desert. A desert is usually hot and a dry place. During the day, deserts are hot and at night the weather is cool. The animals who live in this arid land are camels, Gila monster, badger. Camels store fat in their humps which give the energy when they do not get food for the days together. They also have thick hair in the ears and long eyelashes that protects their ears and eyes from the sand. You can see in the picture. So these animals have special adaptation for their habitat to survive in that particular habitat. Not all animals can live in that particular place. Mountainous regions, that is, the animals who live on mountains have some special features. Let's discuss them. The temperature on the mountain tops is very low and the oxygen is less. We all know that. The peaks do not have the trees. Yes, and many species like the sheep, mountain goats, foxes, bears and yak live on the mountains. You can see in the picture, the mountain goats have tough and flexible hooves to steady themselves. The yaks have thick fleece to conserve heat, a very large chest and lumps to deal with the low oxygen level. Yes, you can see in the picture that their body is covered with a thick layer of fat. That is why they are able to survive in that mountainous regions. Polar regions. Now, the animals who live in the polar regions, as you all know, that they are located at the top and the very bottom of the world. They are cold, windy and have a lot of snow and ice. Trees cannot grow there. Animals that live here have thick fur or feathers and hunt for fishes and other animals to survive. Example, polar bears, seals, Arctic fox and penguins. These have a thick layer of fat to keep them warm, that is called as the blubber, to survive in that cold temperature. So they have a thick layer of fat called as blubber to protect themselves from this cold temperature. So these were all about the different types of habitats. Marine water and fresh water. Let's study both of them. All the 5 oceans and seas comes under the marine water. That is, they consist of the fishes, all big fishes, whale, octopus and turtle. And what is fresh water? Which consists of small water bodies like the rivers, lakes and ponds, which includes small fishes, frogs and salamander. Aquatic animals like frogs and salamander can live both on land and in water and are thus called as amphibians. So in water also the 2 categories are there, where some in marine water the huge aquatic animals live, and in fresh water which consists of small water bodies, the small water animals live, that is of small fishes, salamander, frogs. Body coverings. Now you have seen that different animals have different types of body coverings on themselves. The body covering is not same on all the animals. Why it is there? First of all, to protect the animals from different weather conditions and to keep themselves safe from being hunted by the other animals. Now let's find out that how does the body covering helps an animal to save himself from being hunted by other animals, and also how it helps to survive in different weather conditions. The 4 types of body coverings are scales, shell, feathers and fur. What are scales and where are they present? The example is snake. The bodies of some animals like reptiles and fishes are covered with scales. The scales may vary accordingly to the shape, size and the structure of the animals. It helps to prevent the loss of water from the body surface, and a snake also uses the scales to move on the land. You can see in the picture that on the body covering of the snake consists of the scales, which helps in maintaining the loss of water and also to move on the land. Next is the shell. The example is tortoise. You can see that tortoise has a shell, which is a body covering that protects this when it is in danger. Animals like snails, tortoise and turtles have hard shells. When these animals are in danger, they withdraw their heads and limbs into the shell. Yes, their heads and their legs are moved inside the shell so that the animal who is approaching them could not find them. So this is how the shell helps an tortoise, turtles and the snails to protect themselves from being hunted. The next category is the feathers. Feathers cover the body of the birds. They help them during their flight and also give them shape. Birds use feathers to keep themselves warm in cold and also protect themselves from the rain. So, the bird's body is covered with the feathers to keep them warm and to protect themselves from the different climatic conditions like the rainy season. And they also help them in flying and give them shape to their body. The last category of body covering is the fur. Some animals like sheep, goat, bear have fur that covers their bodies. This fur keeps them warm with low temperature. This we have studied earlier in this video also, that this fur body helps them to live or survive in that cold climatic conditions. So this was about the body coverings of different types of animals, that is scales, shell, feathers and fur. Camouflage. What does this word mean? The ability of some animals to merge with their surroundings is called as camouflage. This adaptation is shown by some animals, and these animals are called as the camouflaging animals. You can see in the picture that on the leaf there is one more animal which is spotted in a red circle. This is a chameleon. Chameleon, Arctic fox are the examples of the camouflaging animals. Tiger, zebras and grasshoppers. You can see and spot the tiger in that second picture. So these animals who have the ability to merge with the surroundings, that is, they take the shape of the color of the surroundings, or they try to merge them, they are called as camouflaging animals, and the phenomenon is called as camouflage. Hibernation. The deep sleep of animals is called hibernation. Deep sleep in winters only. That is, the winter sleep of animals is called hibernation. Example, bear and lizard. During hibernation, their body temperature drops and the rate of breathing slows down. Animals like bear and lizards eat more during the autumn season and store it as fat to be used during the winters when they go for hibernation. So what is hibernation? The winter sleep of the animals. Basically, it is a state of resting in the unfavorable weather conditions. Let's move to the feeding habits of different types of animals. This is a very easy topic, that is the herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. We all have learned that animals need food to live and to stay healthy. Food gives them energy for the day-to-day activities. On the basis of their feeding habits, we can divide them into herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Let's study them separately. Herbivores. Animals that eat only grass and other plants are called as herbivores. They have sharp incisors to cut plant parts and molars and the premolars to grind the food. They do not need any sharp teeth to tear because they are the grass eating animals. Example, cow, horse and deer. Carnivores. Animals that eat the flesh of other animals are called as carnivores. As they are flesh-eating animals, they have sharp pointed canines to tear the flesh and the premolars and molars to chew the flesh and the bones. Example: lion, wolf, tiger, eagle and vulture. The next category is the omnivores. Animals that feed on both flesh of other plants and parts are called omnivores. They have a combination of sharp front teeth and molars for grinding. As omnivores eat both plants and animals, they have both the combination of teeth. That is, they need the front teeth also and they have the back teeth also. So this was about the categorization on the basis of their feeding habits. Example: human beings, bear and crow. Thank you and have a nice day.